and welcome. Hi, everyone, and welcome to TWF Friday. Hi, everyone, and welcome to TWF Monday Night Raw or Monday Night Raw. I am Tony Schiavone here with Trini Kwan and with Corey Graves. And today on Monday Night Raw or Monday Night Raw, we're going to see MJF because he's daring to take on because he's daring to take on Jack Sparrow, who is the TWF heavyweight fighter. Tony Schiavone says. Well, that's right, Trini Kwan said. You are right about that, Tony Schiavone. Jack Sparrow is the TWF heavyweight and world heavyweight fighter after he beat Roman Reigns not too long ago. But what does MJF want to do with him? Trini Kwan said, I don't know, Corey Graves says, but I'll tell you one thing. Jack Sparrow's going to wish he never had to fight Maxwell Jacob Friedman, or Fordman, or whatever you call him, Friedman, because this man is to himself. So everyone wonders why I'm here. Well, I'm here to call out Jack Sparrow, the TWF heavyweight and world heavyweight fighter. Because I know Jack Sparrow, and he thinks he's all that. But so the truth is, Jack Sparrow is not any of that. Oh, I'll give him. He beat Roman Reigns. And everyone didn't think Roman Reigns would lose to Jack Sparrow. But he did. And somehow he got past Seth Rollins and Kenny Omega. And he got past, Drew McIntyre. And he got past Roman Reigns again. But at the end of the day, I do not think he's going to get past me. It's just, not going to happen. Well, here comes Jack Sparrow now, and his sword is falling out of his hands, Tony Schiavone said. Yeah, Trini Kwan said, a lot of men have scathed Jack Sparrow for having a sword and working it in the matches, Trini Kwan says. Well, it is true, Corey Graves says, that Jack Sparrow does work his sword in all the matches he's been in. If it wasn't for that sword, he wouldn't have beat Roman Reigns. Corey Graves says. Yeah, Trini Kwan said, and I guess you're overlooking Jack Sparrow's wrestling skills. That's what you're overlooking there, right? He did more than just hit him with the sword, I could tell you that, Trini Kwan said. It's not Roman Reigns' mistake he ran into the sword, Trini Kwan says. I'll tell you one thing, Tony Schiavone said. You're right, Trini Kwan. You're right, Corey Graves. Jack Sparrow did work the sword when he beat Roman Reigns and became the TWF heavyweight and world heavyweight fighter. But can he do the same thing with Maxwell Jacob Friedman? Tony Schiavone says. All right. So, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, sometimes known as the MLW, NWA, CZW, AW offshoot of The Miz. The man that they always say that you bullshitted everyone for almost a whole year. You made everyone believe that you had a falling out with Shao Kahn and Anthony Khan, a falling out with Sensei Dutt and TJ Marshall, a falling out with Christopher Daniels, a falling out with Jim Ross and Tony Schiavone. Well, that was bullshit, right? Because you came back. Now you have the right to take on Dean Ambrose for the AEW heavyweight winnings, and you think you're going to become the TWF heavyweight and world heavyweight fighter? Bullshit there. You like to go around and scathe and shame and guilt others for things they said or did wrong. But you don't like to be shamed or guilted or scathed yourself, though. You behave as if you're above all that. You like to shift everything. But I'm going to tell you right now, Jack Sparrow says, I'm not bloody frightened of you. You know, if we ever do meet, well, since we got nothing to do, why don't we just have the match for Halloween Havoc or Hell Evening Madness or Hell and Night Madness? Yeah, why don't we do that? So at the end of the day, you could talk about how you somehow, some way, fought me. I could tell you one thing, Marcus Jacob Friedman goes, or Maxwell Jacob Friedman goes. I could tell you one thing. At the end of the day, I will not only be the AEW heavyweight fighter, I will be the TWF heavyweight fighter and world heavyweight fighter too. At the end of the day, I will be the one that everyone will onlook. Because I will not only overtake Dean Ambrose, I will also overtake you, Jack Sparrow. Yeah, just like The Miz. Isn't that right, Jack Sparrow says. Bitching and ranting about how you don't get no onlook from anyone. Well, let me say we can just yield on that. You know, we can have the match here. I can just shift right out of this what I got on. Whee! How you like that? How do you like that? We could do it now. Oh yeah. I think we can do it now, Jack Sparrow says. You truly think you got what it takes to beat me? You truly think you have it? Well, let's bloody do it then, if you so believe that you can beat me. Let's get the Fight Lord out of here. Make this thing true. Well, I guess so. This is for the TWF Heavyweight and World Heavyweight winnings. First, he is MJF, or Maxwell Jacob Friedman. And he is the TWF Heavyweight and World Heavyweight fighter, Jack Sparrow. So, Trini Kwan said, so tell me, Trini Kwan said, well, the sword's out, so you don't have to bitch about the sword. Well, tell me, how did this get here? Tony Schiavone says. How do we have a match for the TWF Heavyweight and World Heavyweight winnings? And Jack Sparrow taking down Maxwell Jacob Friedman, Tony Schiavone says. Well, Trini Kwan said, I don't know. I guess Maxwell Jacob Friedman or Fragman guilted and shamed it and slighted Jack Sparrow to get this, Trini Kwan said. He's good at the bitching and the ranting game as much as The Miz is. Oh, well, the thing is, The Miz has won a lot of winnings in WWE. The Miz hasn't gotten the onlook in WWE, and MJF hasn't won anything in AEW, and he hasn't gotten the onlook in AEW. Well, don't lie about that, Trini Kwan says, Corey Graves. I mean, he is a former TWF team fighter with The Miz until The Miz dropped him like a bad way. Oh, Jack Sparrow down right now by Maxwell Jacob Friedman or MJF, Tony Schiavone said. And you're right, Trini Kwan. You're right, Corey Graves. MJF asks for onlook, but doesn't give any onlook. The same way The Miz asks for onlook, but doesn't give any onlook. And it seems that Jack Sparrow is in a bind right now with MJF, who hopes to become the AEW heavyweight fighter too, Tony Schiavone says. Will he win it here? 1, 2, and only a kick out. Well, I'd like to know, Trini Kwan said, who set this match up? The TWF leadership team, Corone, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, or someone even above them, like need be the owners Cameron Kuska and Xena Pappas Kuska. Whoever put this match together, Corey Graves says, is obviously a fan or a follower of MJF, Corey Graves says. you'll be looking at the new TWF heavyweight and roidweight fighter, ending Jack Sparrow's two-forward run as a TWF heavyweight fighter and his first run as a world heavyweight fighter. Hey, Jack Sparrow coming back. MJF got his sword. Jack Sparrow moved to... Oh! The Fight Lord didn't see it coming. The Fight Keeper's out, Tony Schiavone said. Jack Sparrow thinks he got... MJF now has got the sword. He just hit Jack Sparrow with the sword. Oh, shit. And now he just did the skull smashing end. Just like The Miz. Have to offshoot from The Miz, Tony Schiavone said. Don't tell me he's going to win it this way, Tony Schiavone said. If he wins it in such a shameful way, Trini Kwan said, he's not going to get no onlook from anyone in the TWF. Well, who cares about onlook if you're the TWF heavyweight and world heavyweight fighter, Corey Graves says. 1, 2, 3. Ding, ding, ding. Here is your winner. The new TWF heavyweight and world heavyweight fighter, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF. How did MJF win the TWF heavyweight winnings? Tony Schiavone said, by working Jack Sparrow's sword and hitting him with his own sword. After he got done, hitting with his own sword, after he scathed Jack Sparrow for you working the sword to beat Roman Reigns, Tony Schiavone said. Nothing more than a liar. Yeah, Tony Schiavone said. You're right, Trini Kwan said. You can't go around and shame and scathe and guilt everyone else for things they said and did wrong. And then you do the same thing that you just guilted and shamed and slighted and scathed them for. Well, Corey Graves says, yeah. But I guess you can guilt and shame and scathe others for things they said or things they did wrong. But when you're MJF or The Miz, you can do it. Because 2 wrongs make a right, Corey Graves says. How does 2 wrongs make a right, Tony Schiavone said. You are just like Taz and Aiden English and a Jackal and Wade Barrett. How do 2 wrongs make a right, Tony Schiavone says. Corey Graves, tell me that. I don't know, Trini Kwan said. I don't know. Corey Graves has been looking in the book of, been reading up on the Jesse the Body Ventura, Bobby the Brain Heenan, Jerry the King Lawler, Johnny Polo, $1 Million Man Teddy DiBiase, James Lee Cornette, Paulie Dangerously, Taz, John Bradshaw Lakefield, Victor's Johnny Verifin, Mark Matham, Wade Barrett, Aiden English, Nigel McGuinness' way of, of thinking, Trini Kwan said, which is sad in its own right. Well, Corey Graves said, I'll tell you one thing, MJF is the TWF heavyweight fighter. He is the TWF world heavyweight fighter, and no matter what you say, Tony Schiavone, or no matter what you say, Trini Kwan, will not shift that. Well, MJF is in the ring now. Here comes Renee Young. All right, MJF. We just seen how you. Come on, stand up. We saw how you won the TWF heavyweight and world heavyweight winnings after hitting Jack Sparrow with his own sword. After you got done scathing him and shaming him and guilting him for doing the same thing. Renee Young, let me tell you something. I am the TWF heavyweight and world heavyweight fighter. Everyone thought I couldn't do it, but I did. So, at the end of the day, I did what so many other folks out there didn't think I could do. I beat Jack Sparrow. Jack Sparrow, you ever heard that saying, live by the sword, die by the sword? Well, you just lived by the sword and you died by the sword. We could also say live by the gun, die by the gun too, right? Anyway, live by the knife, die by the knife, right? So, Jack Sparrow, How does it feel to know you got outwised by MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, the NWA, MLW, CZW, AW offshoot of The Miz? How does it feel to be outwised by me? Well, I can tell you one thing. Renee Young says you are not going to get any onlook from the TWF followers or watchers. And ow, MJF, for the stunt and lark you pulled. If you're like The Miz, who always bitches and rants about not getting any onlook from anyone, then you're not going to get any onlook either for it. Renee Young, me and The Miz, we know that we're never going to get onlook from anyone, either in WWE or AEW or whatever. And we're happy with that. But I don't like The Miz. The Miz don't like me. We had a team. We lost, and he shifted on me, and I beat him. Now I'm into bigger and greater things, like being the TWF heavyweight and world heavyweight fighter. And soon I will beat Dean Ambrose, and I'll become the AEW heavyweight fighter too. Well, MJF, you're nothing more than a bully, a heel, and a creep. And you have no right to scathe or shame or guilt anyone when you do the same thing you shamed and guilt and scathed them for. Back to you, Tony Schiavone. Thank you, Renee Young, for talking with MJF here today on Monday Night Raw. Before we go, it's Astronema, or Corone, whatever you want to call her. MJF, you seem to think that what you did was lawful. And I know at the end of the day, MJF, I can't do anything about I know at the end of the day, MJF, I can't do anything about the Fight Lord's choosing. The Fight Lord's word is last on any match. So I can't undo that. But what I can do is I can make another match, another fight at Halloween Havoc, or Hallow Evening, or Hallow Evening Madness, or Hallow Night Madness. It will be MJF taking on Jack Sparrow for the TWF heavyweight and world heavyweight winnings. Fuck me! Well, looks like it is all the time we got here for TWF Monday Night Raw, or Alone Tonight Raw. I am Tony Schiavone for Trini Kwan and Corey Graves. We hope you like Monday Night Raw, or Alone Tonight Raw, and we'll see you tomorrow for NXT.